UAV inbound. Lightning strike coordinates received. Inbound. Bomb offline.
Hi, this is Oswald 1975, and today I'm bringing to you a bit from a demolition game in which we went in with a full 6-man party, including Prosper and Casa. It wasn't really much of a game, it was more of a KD upping session for a lot of the guys, and they immediately annihilated the opposition. We lost round 1 deliberately, just so we could keep killing. Now, I should have pretty much joined Pepper, who spent this time derping around with his crossbow trying to get as many sticks as possible. Because this sort of gameplay is not the sort of thing for me. I don't like spawn trapping and playing demolition at all. It's my least favourite game mode because it is just fixed spawn trapping. Now, anyone who played Ghost Recon back in the day will know that if you played that game a lot, you pretty much got your fill of spawn trapping, because that was all the game was about. So 90% of that game was beat them in mid-map and then spawn trap them for a bit until they break out, and then they try and beat you in mid-map and spawn trap you for a bit until they break out. And a lot of the older shooters with that style. So I've had my fill of spawn trapping long ago. Now, while a lot of people moan about the spawn system in Call of Duty and how broken it is better than fixed spawns in game modes like Domination and TDM. The spawn system they have, even though it's not perfect, does work a lot better than the older games. But as you can see, I'm showing off Casa's gameplay. As Casa went off in this game, he was quite happy to fill his boots full of random, easy kills. And he managed to get his first nuclear there. And now I show his second nuclear in its entirety. So while this gameplay is running and Casa's filling his boots and getting lots and lots of kills, I thought I'd talk about another subject that's come up recently and I've been asked my opinion on, which is bot lobbies. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a way, I don't even know how it's done, where people play in modified bot lobbies, like the bots you can play in on your own, where you program a load of bots, they run around, you make them really crappy and you can kill them easily. There's a way some people do it where they go into these lobbies where there's 5 or 6 of them and the bots are programmed to be the most useless they can be, and they kill them. But in these special lobbies they still keep the medals, the nuclears and the win-losses. For some reason it appears to be demolition lobbies where they do this. This isn't a bot lobby, this is a public match demolition lobby. And I was asked what I thought about people who do this to pad their stats. And honestly, I couldn't care less. It sounds odd considering I sit there reporting boosters, but I don't care if you're not hurting other gamers who are trying to have fun and play. It doesn't really bother me. It's like boosters that go into a lobby where there's 12 of them boosting. I really couldn't give a monkeys about that. Now, I know a lot of my booster busting brethren will be upset with me for saying this, but as far as I'm concerned, there will always be boosters in the game. If I come across them, I will make a video and report them. I am not the sort of person that will go looking for boosters and break into booster lobbies. I leave that to people like Lost in Place, who does that sort of thing, who finds and exposes these cheats. And what they are doing is cheating, but I don't care about what other people's stats are. They're your stats. You worry about them. If you really desperately want good stats, then you could do this and get them legitimately by playing public match, open lobby, get yourself a decent 6-man team and do some hideous spawn trapping. It's cheap, but it's legitimate. If you want to do bot lobbies and boost to improve your stats, they're your stats. No one else cares what your stats are. You could have a 9-1 KD and nobody would care. Nobody would be impressed. They would just probably think you cheat. The thing is about good players, a good player can spot a good player. Now, I've been playing this game long enough to know when I run into a good player and when I run into a guy who spent a lot of time padding his stats or cheating for his stats. It's very obvious. We join a lobby, there's me with my pathetic nearly 2 KD, and there's 3 guys on the other team with 6 KDs. But lo and behold, halfway through the game, they've left. Now, if they really legitimately had 6 KDs and were that good, they wouldn't run away from a 2 KD TDM scrub like me. No, they would annihilate me, surely. So, you see it a lot, and you see it the other way. A good player can spot another good player. You go into a league play game, or you even go into a public TDM, and there's a guy on the other team, and you think, oh, this guy's pretty decent. It's in the way they move, it's in the way they shoot, their accuracy, their understanding of the map. You can spot a good player very, very easily.
Defend the objective.
Now, I personally don't think Call of Duty will get away from being a stat-obsessed culture, because they put these stats in the game, and people are obsessed by them. They become literally obsessed by their KD. Now, I'll be honest, I couldn't care about my KD. If I did, there's many things I wouldn't do. I wouldn't go knifing only. I wouldn't just stick to playing TDM. I wouldn't do the silly challenges where we all run around with pistols. We all run around with executioners on turbine. I would legitimately stat haul the hell out of it and get myself 3+ KD very easily. Now, while we were playing this game, I must admit, I got a bit bored, and you see that arrow hanging out around the back? That'll be me. I got 50 kills, I got some VSATs, I got some UAVs and counter UAVs, but I had no desire to do what Casa and some of the others were doing, sitting in the middle of the enemy spawn getting as many kills as possible. It's just not me. I actually prefer going into league play and going barely positive in a really hard-fought game. I have no interest in my stats, my KD. I do think my score's quite funny, because obviously with the amount of days I've got played, my score's getting to ridiculous proportions, and I'm very high up on the score leaderboard, and it makes me chuckle. But ultimately, I couldn't care less. As long as I'm having fun, I wouldn't care if I had a 2 KD or a 1 KD, because to me, it should be about having fun and enjoying yourself, and not worrying about your stats all the time. And the funny thing for me is, if I don't care about my stats, how do you think I feel about yours? I couldn't care less what your KD is. You can play with us if you're funny. You can play with us if you're a good laugh to play with. We've spent evenings where we've met 3 or 4 people with badly negative KDs, hooked up with them and played 7 or 8 games, and had a good laugh. Win or lose, it doesn't matter to us. We prefer to win. We like to trounce people. But ultimately, sometimes it's fun to lose, and sometimes it's the heroic effort that makes you smile. And that is this gameplay winding up, and that's Casa and the late team in Demolition, and a good example of why I don't play this game mode. So that's all, and thank you very much for watching. I just put the scoreboard up for a while so you can see Casa went 104 for 6 with 2 nuclears.